Steve Martin's one of the greatest comedic minds of all time. Guys, how you doing? This is Isaac. Steve Martin is Fantastic Anderson.
I am Tyler. Steve Martin is Fantastic King.
And this is a movie show where we talk about movie news.
Movie reviews.
And every single thing in between is what I meant. That's what that whole thing was. I mean, nobody's judging.
Oh, come on, rap!
Yeah, so Tyler, how you doing today, buddy?
I am doing well. I'm going to meet Will Ferrell tomorrow. That's going to be really neat.
And is this in dreams or person?
Both.
That sounds hot. But anyway, guys, time to get into some movie topics. And speaking about hot and bothered, Colin Farrell has been cast as the Penguin in the upcoming The Batman movie.
You mean he's going to do another superhero movie besides Daredevil?
Yeah, so he's not going to shave his head and put a bullseye in his head.
Oh, that movie was phenomenal. I got the feeling this Batman might be just as good.
Just as good. Just as good.
Yeah.
What a low bar to reach.
Well, I hope it's not a low bar because Ben Affleck's head would have hit it. That massive forehead. He got a 5 head.
That was quality workmanship, sir. So, Tyler, what do you think about this casting period?
I got a feeling this is going to be a whole bunch of hype that really doesn't boil down to nothing.
Okay. Well, I like Colin Farrell as an actor. I think he's a really awesome actor. And I think that this whole movie, they're shoving a lot into it. They're really trying to make this thing happen. Like the Mean Girl says, stop trying to make the Batman happen. It's not going to happen.
Jai Courtney happen. He's not going to happen.
Well, Jai Courtney isn't involved with this. Yeah. But I get what you're trying to say. But trying to shove so much stuff into this movie because this thing has been stuck in like production hell for quite a long time. Ben Affleck was supposed to write it, then he was supposed to direct it, then he dropped out. And so there's been all these different casting things. Robert Pattinson got cast, Jonah Hill was in, Jonah Hill was out.
So they're overstuffing this bird, is that what you're saying?
They're overstuffing this bat, which is technically a bird.
Oh, Penguin's a bird too.
And also Mr. Andy Serkis got cast as Alfred. So what number Alfred is this that we've seen on screen, by the way?
See, 30s Batman. Then there's 60s Batman. Then there was there was the what's his name that played the Alfred in the Tim Burtons. What's his name? He died.
Goodness, I can see his face right now. It looks like wrinkled old leather, but it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful wrinkled leather.
Oh my goodness! Leave it in the comments, Corey. If you're watching this, leave it in the comments, or the lady from Bristol, please. I forgot. I know your name. I just can't think of it right now. It's written down over here.
Then there was Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Then there's a guy from the TV show, and there's the new guy that's doing the other one.
Yeah, he was in the Joker for like a split second for like a scene that didn't need to be in there.
It's about like the 8th or 9th.
It's too many. Andrew, our executive producer, and I were talking about this, and we were. He just waved at you guys, by the way. Mm-hmm. And he said Batman's kind of like the new Star Wars. Kind of like we're kind of sick of Batman. Batman is overplayed. He's a cool character and all, but like you got to space these things out. You got to give us more time. It's like when a band plays every other week in the same town within 2 miles of each other. Nobody's going to go see that show because nobody can make it out to every single one of those to see the same set. You have to make them big events. You have to make them big things to look forward to. And you might not have a barn burner of every single one of these things happening all the time, but you'll get more attention. And you'll get more of a longevity effect on that. But
DC fatigue or Batman fatigue?
Both. Just superhero fatigue.
See, I don't understand this. It's like how does Marvel spit in a bucket and make $1 billion, and DC can't get anything that like really rolling?
Part of that's their marketing, and part of it's they make good films.
So do you feel like Marvel has exceeded the whole superhero genre type to where Marvel itself is a genre?
I think Marvel itself has become a genre. I'm kind of with Scorsese in the fact I think they've become like amusement park rides. They're more like, products than anything else. But that's another discussion for another time. Any final thoughts on this, Tyler, before we go into the next thing?
Just look like it's becoming a mess.
Heard. Well, speaking about a horrible mess, Wendy is a movie with a trailer that has something to do with Peter Pan.
Now, Wendy,
I think.
not Wendy's trailer. That's a documentary on Dave Thomas.
Yeah, so Tyler said he saw the Wendy's trailer. Yeah. I told him it's a much different thing. This is the Wendy trailer.
Did you know Dave Thomas was adopted? He was a big advocate of adoptions in the United States.
Oh, I just realized who that was. It's the Wendy's guy. I'm like, Dave Thomas, is this like like somebody in the Dave Matthews Band? Or?
Wendy's dad, like the whole.
Oh, I know this now.
Okay, yeah.
This is information that took me a second to process. But Tyler, what did you think about this trailer?
It was like what you said before, pretentious.
Okay.
It kind of feels like one of those kids of the future kind of films like you're talking about, but I got a feeling no one's going to watch it.
Okay, so when I first saw this trailer, first off, I like the idea of like a modern day Peter Pan. Well, and it focuses more on the character of Wendy than anything else, and Peter Pan's kind of like a side character.
It looks like it's like a realistic take on it.
Yeah.
Like they actually might be fighting real pirates and like bass boats. And
Well,
stuff.
they are. They're fighting Captain Hook, which is most likely just an amputee that was like a Vietnam veteran.
Or a Somalian pirate.
Yeah, well, in this one, he's just a cranky old man. But I wrote down who the director of this was. First off, I think I might as well give you the thoughts on this trailer that I had. First off, cinematography looked awesome. I love that. It looks very Kodak film-like. Looks like a Kodak 5219 film. And for all you nerds out there, that's what most film stock is Kodak 5219. There's a few other ones, but it has that specific kind of color that I like. Also, I like the idea. I like the concept. The tone of it just feels so darn pretentious. It's kind of like that guy lofty, like, kids are the future. Will we ever go? We'll go. Like that kind of crap.
It reminds me of that movie with Tom Hanks come out, Where the Wild Things Are.
That was Tom Hanks in that?
Tom Hanks, he directed or produced it, or one of them.
I don't think no, that was Spike Jonze, man.
No, or no, I don't. Tom Hanks was involved.
Yeah, I can understand why you get confused. They're both people.
I'm pretty sure. Like Google it. Like somebody out there Google it. Tom Hanks was involved
Corey,
with the Wild
again,
Things
if you're watching this, we would appreciate if you Google it. Anyway, the director of this is Benjamin Harold Zentelin, I think. You can tell he's a very known director in our mind. He's done a bunch of animation stuff. He directed a movie called Beast of the Southern Wild, which sounds kind of like one of those types of movies. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of that movie?
Beast of the Southern Wilds. I have not heard of that movie.
I've never heard of it before, but he got a big thing. It feels like an independent film. I like the feel of it. I like the concept. Any final thoughts on this, Tyler, before we go on?
It looks like art house.
Well, I like art house.
I do not.
Okay, well, speaking about not liking it, James Dean is going to be resurrected. In CGI, that is.
And a hologram, he's going to be performing.
Right next to Tupac?
Yeah, right next to Tupac and Michael Jackson.
All right. That is going to be something to be seen. The children cheering.
See, they were going to do a hologram of Biggie Small, but didn't have enough photons to
Boo!
bring it back.
Boo!
No
Boo!
photons.
That was not a good one.
I
don't like that.
What?
Now, just come on, man.
Come on, think about it.
Too soon.
It's not too soon.
Okay, well, anyway.
He's been dead for longer than you've been alive.
No, that's not true. It might be. James Dean, CGI, Resurrection. What do you think?
It sounds not good. Is this a movie, or are they actually going to try to bring him back to life?
No, it's a movie. It's a movie.
Okay. Like, it's the premise of the movie, then bringing him back to life.
See, that would be interesting. So they're not going to do that. So they're obviously going to make him be in a movie where he's like, himself. Just get like James Franco, de-age him a little bit and kind of mess his face up a little bit, like in the computer. By messing up, I mean make it look more like James Dean.
Or his brother, the one actually kind of looks like.
His brother looks more like James Dean. Well, I mean, that looks like James Franco. I mean, James Franco looks like James Dean, rather.
What's his brother's name?
Dave Franco.
Dave Franco.
Yeah. But I think this is a terrible idea, first off. I don't want to see James Dean look like a PS4 character.
It's going to be like looking at, remember that with Tron, what's
Wile E. Coyote looking face?
Yeah, the Wile E. Coyote looking Tron face.
You don't think we're going to get like Blade Runner 2049, like see Rachel like that? No,
absolutely not. We're probably not. We're not probably going to get that. We're not going to get that $200 million budget.
Yep, we're going to get like that Uncanny Valley kind of like rubbery kind of thing where it's just like something feels like propaganda about this. But also bringing him back almost feels like tasteless and weird. You know what I mean? Like in that form, it just feels a little dirty. Like it just doesn't feel like I got to take a shower after I read this news. You know what I mean? Why would you do this? Exposure? Money? Probably, unless the story is like super awesome, a director hasn't been attached to this or anything like that.
Are you sure this is the right James Dean, not the Sausage Man, right?
And this is not the Sausage Man. No, no.
I guess sure.
That would be a spicy descent.
Because he was also a country singer. But I do have another issue with this whole thing.
Okay.
It's like my biggest question is why.
Like I said, exposure, money.
See, but here's the thing. Like, name somebody. Give me somebody under the age of 40 that has seen a James Dean movie besides you.
That's a good question. If you again, that's something you can leave in the comments if you want. Yeah,
Watch
I have no idea.
Let's ask our associate. Have you ever seen a James Dean movie?
Mr. Ron of the Broadcast Technologies program, just nod your head, yes or no. Have you seen one?
No.
Okay, she said no. So also, thank you, Naran, for helping us. Naran does a lot of stuff around here. So make sure if you're watching, thank her in the comments if you want to. But
I'm seriously, it's one of those people that probably if they did like a movie probably in the 80s, that the whole James Dean boom happened again, that is probably would have been made a lot of money, but no.
Every film student likes Rebel Without a Cause, but that's about it. That's probably the only one they know.
They never seen it, but they love it.
And it's a big thing now where he's become like the big icon for like a lot of young people
He did like 4 movies, 5 movies.
He was very fluid with himself, you know. So I mean, any final thoughts on this?
I don't. I'm not too perspective. There's not a lot of perspective.
You're not too perspective.
What's the word I'm looking for?
There's a multitude of words.
It starts with a P. But I don't look good on this.
Heard
there
that.
we go. I do not like it.
Awesome. Well, not in the fact that you don't like that, but awesome that we can keep moving on. But speaking about awesome and terrible, in many words, Color Out of Space trailer is out.
I thought it was Chip Lovecraft.
Chip Lovecraft? This is H.P. Lovecraft.
It said Chip right up there. Chip Lovecraft.
Chip Lovecraft?
Yeah, if you rewind it, it says it right there at the top. CHP Lovecraft.
Okay, whatever. But we'll see that later. But anyway, this is the H.P. Lovecraft story.
I don't like these production companies.
Okay, why not?
Because I don't know who they are.
Okay.
I don't.
This is gonna be like one of them Netflix ones.
I got a feeling it's gonna be a Netflix dump, or it's gonna be one of those. What's the other one? The Apple Video, Apple Media.
Who knows? There's like 50,000 streaming services now, and there's a few interesting things about this. First off, Tyler, what do you think about the trailer? Okay, I take that you didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like it. See, I don't know. It feels like out of date.
Okay, how so?
Like 2001, maybe 99.
I don't agree with you on that. I like the idea of that. I don't know too much about the plot because I didn't want to learn too much because I heard a lot of good things. Mr. Michael Edwards of Broadcast Production Technology Program fame here at Nash Community College said he liked it.
What is the guy's name who directed Mandy?
Mandy, that was...
it was a long, weird Greek name.
Panos Cosmatos.
Yeah, is he directing this?
No, it's from the producers, which basically either meant that they gave a check or they like hired the cinematographer or something like that.
See, I love Mandy. I thought Mandy was great.
I thought Mandy was great too. Well, I'll tell you about this. The reason I wanted to talk about this, first off, I think I might as well tell you about what I thought about the trailer. Pretty awesome. I like some of the visuals. Some of the visuals look like cheap CGI garbage. Yeah. Nicolas Cage he's really dialing in on this. Yeah. Like he is. I don't think he was giving full Cage up until that point. But he doesn't. He turns these things out like nobody's business. He's like the working man's actor, by the way.
Well, he's homeless now. He's had to sell his
well, allegedly.
He's only living in the trailer.
Well, this next thing I'm about to tell you is going to be a little bit more interesting than that because this is the return of director Richard Stanley. Do you know who Richard Stanley is?
Yeah, I think I've seen some of his movies.
So he's directed a lot of things, but he's most famous probably for a movie called The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, Moreau.
Yeah, sorry.
With Val Kilmer, yes.
Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando. Yeah. And so this movie was what's the word?
Infamous.
Infamously. Yeah, I couldn't get the word out. It's infamously famous because it was horrible to work on, and Richard Stanley apparently got fired off the production because he couldn't handle all these actors, and he went to live in the woods as an animal for years.
Yeah, he did. He lived.
He essentially the movie made him go crazy.
Yeah. Well, the movie was about people becoming animals too. No, animals becoming people.
It's a really awesome documentary about it that I would highly recommend.
The documentary was greater than the movie.
Yeah, but he's back.
He's also inspired the whole Mini-Me. He was the inspiration for Mini-Me
he wasn't. The movie was.
For Austin Powers.
Richard Stanley was the inspiration for Steve Coogan's character in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
So if you've ever seen that movie, that's kind of like what Richard Stanley was. But he's back for this one. I'm really curious to see how this is going to turn out. You can't take things on face value. All this was at Fantastic Fest. People said they really liked it at Fantastic Fest. So I don't know. I look forward to seeing them. Any final thoughts on any of these things that we talked about, Tyler?
I gotta admit, I'm not really too excited for any of this.
Heard that. I think out of all of them, I'm most curious about the probably either the James Dean CGI to see how that turns out, and the Wendy movie is probably the most interesting thing out of all this. But guys, let us know in the comments what you thought was the most interesting, or what you want to hear us talk about next. You can leave a comment at facebook.com/studio67ncc. We would love to hear what you guys have to say any time of the day, but specifically now.
Do you know Wendy Thomas is still alive?
Wendy Thomas? Yeah, she was still in those commercials. She's only like 40-something.
No, the girl in
I know the girl that in the photo.
That's not her, but she's like 60 now.
Okay, well, this is propaganda, guys. We'll
We'll
talk more about this after the break.
So that's what I learned about Wendy. So Wendy's was good.
When it comes to culinary arts, Nash Community College is here to turn your burning passion for food into a career. Our chefs, with over 70 years of highly qualified industry experience, are here to point you in the right direction, teaching and handing down classical culinary techniques that will improve your skills and help you cut your way into the food industry. Gain invaluable experience, vital to cooking and preparing delicious food, served in a personal and creative environment. To learn more about the Culinary Arts program, visit nashcc.edu.
Welcome back, guys. My name is Isaac Will Ferrell. It's Pretty Dope Anderson.
I'm Tyler. I'm Dope King.
Well, that was very pretentious. That reminded me of the Wendy trailer.
Yes, it did.
But it's true. Guys, we saw a movie this week, and we wanted to talk to you about it.
Well, movie.
A movie that was most certainly not a project to try to steal your money and totally not failing at the box office. And that was Terminator Dark Fate.
Are you telling me another Turner film is pandering and is flopping at the box office?
Yes. But
Dun,
Tyler.
dun.
Oh, well, way to ruin it. It's okay. Guys, we're about to talk about this movie. What did you think about Terminator Dark Fate?
Okay.
First off,
confliction.
Confliction. Okay,
Okay,
what is it about?
Okay, but my confliction about? Okay, it was...
No, what's the movie about?
Have you ever seen a Terminator movie?
Sure.
This is what it was about.
Okay, agree to disagree.
Like,
But continue. Why didn't you like it?
Okay, my biggest problem with it was, well, for me, Terminator should have ended after Terminator 2. They keep tacking on garbage. And I thought this was garbage, but it wasn't as bad as garbage as the last few had been. The last three were horrendous. This one was not good, but it wasn't as bad. I didn't like, well, they killed John Connor off.
Oh, spoiler!
Spoiler.
Gosh. Dude.
Spoiler alert. Spoil.
There we go.
Well, they killed John Connor off.
Oh, thanks. They already know that.
At the beginning of the film, and I'm like, why? Like, John Connor was pretty much the linchpin in all these Terminator films.
Which I gotta agree to disagree on that too. So.
Okay, because I felt like the first two, John Connor, but you just. It had the same problems I've seen in the other few sequels. But some of the stuff was better. I got to say the visuals were a lot better. The action was pretty neat. The I don't know. There's some parts in it like I didn't like the whole Carl. I'm a robot. I don't have nothing to do now.
I own a carpet store now.
I own a carpet store now. I'm a robot. I sell drapes and carpets now.
Well, see, I'm going to go ahead and interject with kind of my thoughts now that we kind of got that initial thought out of the way. Yeah. I enjoyed this film a lot. I was really surprised how much I enjoyed it. That does not mean the movie is good. That does not mean the movie is great. It does not mean the movie is bad. I describe it the best as this is a frozen Hungry Man meal. Okay, this is. It's a bunch of garbage in there. It's not really good things, but it's hefty enough and filling enough to where you'll be like, hey, that was pretty good, you know? That's kind of how I look at this. This is not T2. This is not brilliant like that. But I did enjoy. Now I'll tell you why exactly. We'll get into kind of like some of our shared thoughts, but you said specifically about John Connor, spoiler, getting killed at the very beginning. I liked that. John Connor, everyone...
Oh, come on.
I'll tell you why. I didn't like the fact that Linda Hamilton looked like a PS3 character. That was creepy. But the other CGI on both Arnold and young John Connor looked pretty good to me. The reason I like that is because all these movies revolve around John Connor being the chosen one, and John Connor trying to save the Resistance, and John Connor trying to lead the Resistance, and John Connor being saved. Enough. We had that. It's like Luke Skywalker and the Skywalker family inside of Star Wars. We've had enough, But then you take him out, it's not really a Terminator movie anymore.
Technically, he's only been in 2 movies. The other ones don't exist anymore.
Well, yeah, but they all revolve around. Well, he's been in technically, but they all
actually one. He's only been in 1 movie. Yeah, well, he doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, well, they revolve all around him, and the fact that they take him out at the beginning of this is kind of like saying we're going to do something different. We're going to do something that revolves around another thing. And granted, it's basically the same story. They find somebody else that's going to lead the Resistance, but this time it actually is the person. It's not the person that's going to give birth to them. I thought that was a really nice little switch up of the trope of like you're going to have the son that saves everybody, the Jesus complex, as they say. I like that, and the fact that the Terminator, once he finished his mission, has now become like a normal person and tries to like live a normal life and grew a conscience is pretty interesting to me. I thought that was really neat. What did it deliver on necessarily everything that like it probably could have with all the nuance and everything? No, I thought this movie had loads of pacing issues. I thought it had loads of story issues. But as a whole, I like what it did. I like the fact that Sarah Connor now is like hunting Terminators and Arnold is helping her and like from a distance and don't even know. But still, this is a fast food frozen meal movie. But I liked a lot what it did. What do you think about that, Tyler? Why didn't you like it?
The same problems have the other Terminator films. If this existed on its own, it wouldn't have been a bad movie. And you have to remember how a film sits in the whole film series. This is supposed to directly take right after Terminator 2. To me, Terminator 2, T2 is one of the greatest films ever made. And then you have it lead into this. It feels like a giant slap in the face. It feels like it feels like Ron Johnson had his hands in this. It feels like it feels like a big F you to the fans.
Okay, yeah, it was for you. If that's the F you were referring to, it's for you.
It almost felt insulting, to be honest with for me.
I don't agree. Partly because have you seen the last couple movies that were in the Terminator franchise? Granted, they were all a bad dream according to James Cameron.
Yeah, they're garbage.
And this one was kind of like a paint by numbers, kind of like we got to get to the thing, do this, kind of beat the thing. Also, that Terminator was a little bit too powerful for my you got to have some sort of weakness.
This felt almost insulting as Genesis was. Genesis, you're like, let's make John Connor the villain, and then like let's just kill him. Let's just kill him in this one.
Well, John Connor being the villain is an interesting twist, but they didn't do it very well in that. This one, I thought, put some twists on the tropes and everything. Does it need to exist? No, it does not need to exist. I don't think so.
And speaking of not existing, this brings up another problem I've had with this whole franchise. It's why watch it when no one's ever going to win.
Well, that's another thing. We talked about this, and we'll end on this.
Yeah.
Another thing I liked about it was the fact that, you said that John Connor and I want to say Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor's sacrifice was pointless because it still happened. I don't agree. It did still happen, but in the movie, it's something different. It's something called Legion, which is basically the internet, Mm-hmm. And
as was Skynet was the internet.
That's kind of the whole point of the movie is dark fate, and like there's no escaping this fate, which is just like it's a dark future ahead of us. We just have to hope for the best when that happens.
So it's kind of like why watch another one when you know how it's going to how no one is ever going to win.
Well, it's a movie. Like they win, they make small victories and they postpone it.
And then like a new one pops up. Like here's the new one. Here's the new one. Here's
they need more movies, Tyler. That's the biggest reason why. And they stopped it. There'd be no movies left.
Well, the only problem is, you can't be the same thing over and over and over and over. You end up with Transformers,
or you wind up with Star Wars.
Yes.
But guys, I enjoyed this film. I liked a lot what it did. Granted, some of the pacing issues, it was like speed up, slow down, speed up. The editing was a little bit choppy. The visual effects got god-awful at times, which is another thing that disappointed me because Terminator, the franchise, has prided itself on good visual effects, and that was a big disappointment. Have some more practicality, slow down the story a little bit, really flesh some of that stuff out, tone down on the action bits, and just try to fleshed out kind of the...
write a story. Just spend longer than 2 hours writing a story.
I thought Tim Miller did a pretty decent job. This is a decent movie. If you wanted to see something that is semi-okay and enjoyable as an action scene. Also, I like the fact that Terminator has humanity now. It's like an actual human that's just enhanced, and it's not a cold robot persona again, or just a straight-up human. It's something different. We've never seen that. I thought that was cool.
We did see that. We saw it in Terminator Salvation.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've never seen it in a timeline that's canon. I forgot about Mr. Sam Worthington.
And the one right before this, John Connor was also an enhanced human.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen the last one. I never saw Genesis.
Yeah, don't.
Well, I like the fact that we had one that we actually liked. How about that? Yeah. And Terminator Salvation is another story. Anyway, I'm going to give this movie a. I said 7 out of 10 on my original thing, but I'm going to go 6.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it. It's not great.
10.
Okay, wow. I thought you'd give it way lower than that. Why 5 out of 10?
Well, 5 out of 10, I give Genesis a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
But like I said, it's not as terrible as the last few are, but like to me, T2 is like a 9.8 out of 10.
This is not T2. This is not a masterpiece. This is a frozen Hungry Man meal, like I said. This is a trip to McDonald's. T2 is like eating a nice steak dinner.
This is like FX on probably 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday.
I agree. So if you got to stay home from work, might be a fun one to watch. Yeah. Anyway, guys, what do you guys think about Terminator Dark Fate? Just if you saw it, what do you think about our opinions? Do you agree? Do you not agree? Let us know in the comments at Studio 67 NCC on Facebook. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But anyway, next week, I believe we're going to be seeing Dr. Sleep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I actually had good reviews on that.
Yeah. You want to hear something very shocking?
What?
I've never watched The Shining all the way through.
Really?
I've watched most of it. I know what happens in it. I've seen it in bits and pieces, but I've never sat down and watched it cohesively all the way through,
You're not
start
a
to
Kubrick
finish.
fan? Not a Kubrick fan?
Well, but now I love Kubrick. I've seen the movie, just in different parts. But I'll let you know how Dr. Sleep is next week. So will Tyler. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Isaac Anderson.
You know who wasn't a fan of Kubrick?
Who?
Stephen King.
Yeah. Well, what's your name?
My name is Tyler King.
That's more like it, okay? As what he used to be called, King. Yeah. Stay lovely. Have a good weekend.